Fool me twice. Shame on me. And I think what Patrick is alluding to is the fact that we are now at $30 trillion in debt.
Okay.
And the fact that we keep piling on this issue of like, I get it. We all need military. We need the police. We need the firemen. We need all these social systems. We need a social safety net. We need welfare. We need Medicaid. We need Medicare.
The easiest one there to solve and minimize would be welfare. The question nobody is asking is why so many are unemployed. Of course, many have explained that people with a job are also on social assistance. The question about that would be why they aren't being paid a sufficient wage. Or why are they in the position they're in with a low-income job. MAGA, let alone the GOP, will never ask questions, though. That's not what they were about. However, the Democrats don't either, and that's a real fucking problem. Welfare isn't designed to solve problems, only to provide a minimal amount, with the expectation, or I guess demand would be the better term, of every recipient to deal with the problem himself. The GOP doesn't even like people getting that money. The economy being a problem in any way is completely out of the fucking question, in the GOP's eyes. They are authoritarian junkies who masturbate to consequences and human suffering. As for law enforcement, well, actually the military, now, I've written a book about Donald Trump, and which was completely ignored by everyone because they're all a bunch of fucking loser cocksuckers. So I know that creating a series about every war, or at least the major wars, throughout America's history would be a waste of fucking time, because I know you guys won't bother and you won't care. You would never listen. So, as for law enforcement, the system isn't designed to look at the psychology behind crimes committed. Therefore, it isn't designed to cut down on criminal behaviors. Of course, there's also that stupid war on drugs which has nonviolent convicts in prison, and is one of the reasons for the cartels. So this guy and Patrick are both talking about excessive funding for social programs, while they aren't even considering that maybe either these programs are wrongfully designed or are simply the wrong programs. What do the non-right-wingers do? They, quote, debate these people. The non-rights don't have the right idea either. If you have proper programs implemented and for the right goal, problems will be solved. More money will be spent and less people will need the programs. Sound logical and fair? I think so.
I think what his point is like, at what point is enough enough? Now we want to pile more stuff into our storage unit that is already filled to the brim, and we're going to keep piling and piling and piling more. And at what point is he saying, can we stop funding the government this way, because it's not a good look for us, because we're at 31, 32, 35 trillion. And what he's saying, I think, is like,
yeah, that's all the right cares about, the funding. The entire thing is about that funding. Their complaint that these government programs are too many. They aren't at all concerned with what programs are actually needed and how they should operate. They don't care about the people. What I'm talking about isn't even in the ballpark of what David is thinking either. So how does the greed-rooted obsession with excessive funding make you look?
we're going to have to make some cuts and make some adjustments.
Okay.
And you're saying, let's double down. Let's keep adding some to this thing.
Didn't say that.
No, I'm like, you want to add more systems, you said.
I think
you said I want one or two more.
No, but wait a minute. You really didn't understand what I...
So this guy is trying to come down on David for suggesting a few more additional programs, while his only talking point is either funding cuts or program removals. Pretty fucked up.
What I just said.
Did he not understand it, or did I not?
I'm asking you.
I want to get to just a very specific example of a specific program that you're displeased with.
Buddy, anything.
So you're against all government programs?
I didn't tell you all government programs.
So which ones are you against?
If you give money into programs that you're coming out saying, hey, we're going to spend $88 million for this.
Okay.
If you want me to pull it up and we can go through expenses and tell you which ones works and which one doesn't, we can do that as well if that's what you...
And how would you know which one works, Patrick? You don't even have the right idea, while you're only trying to debate this as a man who has the wrong idea. None of you guys are concerned with why they aren't working.
What you want to do. But if you constantly come to me for more money, let me just put it to you this way.
Yeah.
What does it mean when a company or an individual?
Probably not. No.
What are we doing? What are we doing? We're lending our taxpayer.
It sounds like you're analogizing.
But we're lending our taxpayer money, and we keep getting into more and more and more and more in debt. If the government was...
Well, you're talking about debts now? I would ask what debts have to do with social problem solving, but that isn't even on anyone's mind. If I was there and I mentioned what I just said a few minutes ago, what would you guys say to me?
Was an individual or a corporation, I don't understand why investors keep giving this government more money when they have no cash.
The critical answer is the government and countries are not like households or companies. That's the difference. It's not an
That's not
it's
true.
not
though.
analogous.
That's not. Notice I didn't say Republican or Democrat. I'm telling you, I'm not supportive of it. Period.
Presidents, generally speaking, increase the debt.
But first,
Fair.
make the argument on how different it is to give the analogy.
Yes.
Of personal household, that it's okay for the government to increase its debt, but not on the personal side.
It's
or
not
the
a question of
company
it's
side.
okay. It's not the same. And what I'm struggling with, Patrick, is that like everything I'm saying is just being relayed to me, usually interrupting me incorrectly. So now I'm having to clean up what you think I said to then answer the original thing.
I'll be honest here, I know nothing about the national debt, but that's not really relevant. What is important is that everyone in the country is able to have a good standard of living, which can only happen if the economy and the system are both designed to enable the people and make sure problems are solved, both economic and social. The reality is that the GOP creates many problems, because this party is sociopathic, greedy, and authoritarian. The Democratic Party are just the GOP minus the authoritarianism. The GOP prioritizes the wealthy and wants them, and God, to be the rulers of the country.
No, what's going on is you're saying something, they're relaying what you said back to you, and because you don't like how it sounds when other people say it, then you have to clean it up. But
Okay, how do you like what I'm saying? Yeah, Patrick and Dave are arguing about debt, which wouldn't be an issue if the government was doing everything it's supposed to, and the economy was debugged and stabilized. Again, something the GOP is against for reasons of both corporations and religions. Well, religion. A Christian nation and all that fucking bullshit. Not just on a different page, but in a different book. None of you are even on the right track. I would rhetorically ask, so people should be deprived because the government is backward? But the system isn't even about helping them.
I think he interpreted what Pakman said pretty spot on. You know, Pakman, he's saying PBD by saying, oh, no, you're twisting my words and stuff. No, he's saying exactly what you were saying, but when he says it back to you, you don't like it, so now you're trying to...
Not only that, but you're only interested in backing this podcast and coming down on David. So how are you any fucking better?